funny. Like I that's like one of the like cartoonish things that I think about you. Of like, oh, what is Melissa doing right now? She's looking at pictures of moles. I don't know. Melissa, what is going on? How has your week been?
It's been interesting. I've found that looking at places makes me feel better. I had a day yesterday.
Ooh.
So last week I'd try and go donate blood.
Okay.
My iron's too low. I feel terrible.
You need to pump the iron.
I reschedule immediately. So I'm like, okay, give me in like a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday I've got the second blood donation appointment and I go, my iron's still too low. And I leave and I was so upset I like called my mom crying.
Oh no.
Because I feel like if I'm not able to donate blood, I've basically killed several people.
Melissa, you're too good. You're too good for
well,
this
everybody's...
world.
You know what? They prick my fingers and they're like, oh, your iron's too low. And I'm like, I am so sorry. I've wasted this appointment slot for you. And they're like, no, it's okay. It's fine. It happens. Like they're trying to be so reassuring. But every like Red Cross sign says your blood could save up to 2 lives. The need is constant. Donate now. And I can't get that out of my
Melissa
head.
Killed 2 people.
Basically, yes. But I'd like already taken the afternoon off work and I was so stressed. I'm like, I'm just going to go drive to the Chesterfield Commons and just look at the outside of the Galaxy Theater.
Window shopping
to make
in a movie
myself
theater.
feel better. Yeah, they have posters up. I hadn't been by this place in forever.
The like Sonic posters still up?
No. Well, the theater closest to me took all the posters down, like all the ones that I've been able to see, which are both AMC's. They just have blank white poster slots outside the building. But I didn't. This is a Marcus Theater, different chain. I didn't know what it was going to have. It has these sun-bleached, like blue and white posters they left in there for forever. It's like whenever they shut down, they're like, okay, let's put up the posters for the movies that we know will probably be out in like October, November.
Okay, so it's
Seems like they did that
James Bond and like Black Widow and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, let's see. We've got Wonder Woman, No Time to Die, Maverick.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know when that's rescheduled for. Tenet, Spiral. Again, don't know when that one is. Oh, and Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah, I forgot
so it was
about
like
that
a
one.
couple sure bets and some other movies where I don't know when they're scheduled. I don't know when they got moved to, but you can tell they did this like a couple months ago. Everything's like sun bleached.
That's so funny.
It's a weird and like they're like crunched. Like some of them like kind of slipped and fell down in these like poster holders, but like nobody's going there to check on them, so it's just like a real crunchy,
Dilapidated
folded up like
poster.
Right. Oh. You know that episode of Gravity Falls where Dipper tries to clone himself with the copy machine and one of them is Paper Jam Dipper? There's a Paper Jam Dipper of Tom Cruise as Maverick.
Paper Jam Maverick.
And I'm walking past these like the doors that would lead into the theater and it's like dark in there, but I can see there's a couple lights on. And I had that feeling that you would have if you were a kid in a Goosebumps book of, oh, what if there's like some spooky old man that's going to come out of there like, what are you doing around my movie theater?
Or like a hacker
Do you mean it harm?
that has taken over the abandoned theater and made it their own to bring down Jeff Bezos and the man.
But I'm looking through these dark windows and I'm like, what if a ghost comes out? And then I realized, Melissa, you're the one haunting this theater. You're the one just walking around outside of a closed theater with nobody around.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 108 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined, as always, by Melissa Wilkinson, the Spectre herself.
Yes. Yeah, I put the Spectre in the James Bond franchise films.
That's good. That's good.
How's your week been?
My week has been okay. It's kind of been just back to normal stuff. Not in terms of like job stuff. I think I found out I'm probably going to be working from home through the rest of the year. But yeah, it like I think I mentioned last week that that week went by really fast. This one just felt normal. I don't know. I like unremarkable in most ways. I guess my only like two things is like my quick Lucifer update and my quick Gundam update that I will bestow on all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I continued watching Lucifer. Still is a fantastic show. I am done with season 4. And season 5 came out on Friday, which is the day that we would normally be recording this. But here we are on Saturday morning, or I guess like Saturday afternoon for us. But I haven't started it yet. But part 1 of season 5 is out. It's 8 episodes. I'm excited to dive into that this next week. But season 4 was really good too. It was short. It was 10 episodes. It ended in a place that was like, I could see that being the end of the show before Netflix decided to, be like, all right, one more season. We'll do a victory lap, or who knows how long. But yeah, it was really good. I'm excited to be all caught up with that show. Gundam stuff is going along great. I've been watching all of that stuff. Funny enough, there is a Gundam YouTube channel called Gundam Info, and it's like the official Gundam YouTube channel. And they just put up a bunch more Gundam shows and movies and all that stuff, and some of them were the ones that I just watched, and I'm so mad because they had to find them on another website. Rest in peace, Kiss Anime. So I was watching 0080 War in the Pocket. I get done with one episode and I go to the next one, except the site comes up with this white screen, and at the top right of, or top left of the screen, it says this website has been shut down permanently. All files are like, and I was like, okay, this is something to the website must not have loaded right. It's not really a perfectly legal site. Let's put it that way. So I was like, all right, something's up. So I refresh, same thing. Refresh, same thing. Okay. I know sometimes they change the URL to kind of like update things. So sometimes it's like kissanime.ru or kissanime.au or something, And so I tried Googling it. I couldn't find it. And I was like, let me just check Twitter and Reddit. And yet everything I saw was just rest in peace, Kiss Anime. It's gone. It's not here anymore. It's gone. I was on the site when it happened. And I was like, me too. But yeah, it was good. So it was good watching all the Gundam stuff. Still trucking along with that, but then it was like that shaking my fist of just like, I just watched those. I could have watched them on my TV, not my dinky little laptop.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Right.
Yeah. Good stuff though. It's been a good week.
Nice.
Melissa.
Yes.
Right now, as we are recording, DC Fandom is happening.
Yes.
I'm looking at the stream right now. It's Wonder Woman 1984 panel. I'm excited for DC Fandom. There's lots of stuff I'm looking for, though. I'm looking at this stream right now, and it looks ridiculous. They have this like virtual green screened room that you would imagine in like your typical like Hall of Justice, right? Where it's just this gigantic, huge room.
Oh, when you were telling me about this before we got started. We were talking about a huge room. I thought they were trying to virtually create a Hall H.
It's basically that. Like, I mean, well,
Oh,
it's not.
was it that, or is it a Fortress of Solitude?
It's not.
Are there
No,
crystals?
it looks like a man-made building, but it looks like something
Okay.
you would see in like the Hall of Justice, where it's like it's golden
Okay.
hour outside, everything is like shiny and golden and stuff like that. But
So it has more grandeur than just the San Diego Convention Center.
yeah, but the walls
Okay.
are like, I guess what would be the like giant open windows, they have like sectioned off, and that's where the like Zoom call screens of all of the guests are, but they're kind of superimposed on these windows, so they are like just slightly like tilted in a way that's like, okay, I'm looking at this at a perspective, like the building is kind of circular, so it looks like they fit on the walls, and it's not just like, okay, here's a square with that stuff. It's hard to explain, but the two hosts are on complete opposite sides of the screen. I'm sure they're in like the same space, just like equally socially distanced, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they have green screened them into this like giant building. And in the canon of this building, they are so far apart. They are tiny on screen. Like they're hosts, that they're ants. What is this? A convention for ants? Like that type of thing. It looks kind of ridiculous. But yeah, DC fandom is happening right now. Melissa, what are you excited for with DC fandom?
It's great to just have news about things.
Yeah.
I feel like news has been so sluggish over the last couple months. Like, we're getting an influx of activity. I've always been more of a Marvel person than a DC person, which Marvel just had a head start with that. Like, it's
Sure.
not really a fair comparison.
Yeah, well, Marvel
But
has
there's
the
some-
live action stuff. DC has the animated movies and all that stuff, which Marvel's animated stuff is usually not all that good. So,
But there are a couple DC projects I'm really excited for. This Robert Pattinson Batman, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I think I saw the initial theatrical release of Justice League and felt fine about it. And I'm mildly interested in the Snyder Cut, I guess, but it's just such an odd thing to do that I'm interested in it just from a point of it being cinematically unique to have like a director's cut of a movie released so much later with so much extra stuff.
And so like unconfirmed until like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Just like, it's not even real. He didn't even make this thing. And they were all like, but why are they still teasing this thing? Like, it's a real thing. And it's like, they're just hoping to make it a real thing. That's why they're like, if we can get enough support. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of news now coming out of DC fandom. So you put in our document here this thing about Black Adam. They teased him yesterday.
And here's the deal. I don't even know who Black Adam is. I'm just happy to see a costume on anyone. There's news.
It's like, it's The Rock. That's all I care about.
Yeah, he's like a Shazam, I guess. Another Shazam?
Basically. So
Okay.
he is a predecessor of Shazam that went evil, if that makes sense. I think in more recent times, let me see. I'm going to pull up. I don't need that. Where was it? Black Adam Wikipedia page. I have his thing open here. Let's see. He first appeared as a one-time villain for the first issue of Fawcett Comics' The Marvel Family comic book in December 1945. Let's see. However, Black Adam was revived as a recurring character after DC Comics first licensed and then acquired the Fawcett Comics' characters and began publishing the Shazam, formerly Captain Marvel family, stories under the title Shazam in the 1970s. I've read a more like recent version of him from the New 52. which you and I kind of talked about because we read some Superman issues from DC Rebirth. I explained a little bit of stuff about the DC's New 52, but in that he was like a former slave in like ancient Egypt, and he eventually escaped. And so the story starts out with this young kid who is a slave in ancient Egypt, and he gets picked to be the next Shazam. But in escaping slavery, his uncle gets hurt, and so he gives his uncle some of the Shazam powers, and his uncle goes evil, and that's who Black Adam is. And he kind of steals his nephew's powers and supposedly kills him. And then is like, I hate everyone, like all slavery. I will kill everyone who wants to enslave the earth and stuff like that. And so he's more of an anti-hero in modern day times, but he's still, in my mind, mostly a villain.
Okay.
Yeah. So
interesting to see how that's going to match up with the Shazam we've already seen.
So yeah, what's interesting is the story that I know of him is basically what happened in the Shazam movie. Just swap out Dr. Savannah for Black Adam. And it's like that was the New 52 origin story, where in modern day times he is like sending out the like 7 deadly sins to go like hunt down people and stuff, and there's these like monsters and whatnot, and then Shazam shares his powers with his family and they all fight back. And that's it. And that was the Shazam movie, and it was just like, okay, interesting. I wonder how they're gonna like do that now, since they already kind of did that story. How like are they gonna change up the origin story some to the older ones, or who knows? Cool. I'm excited about that one because they announced Black Adam a long time ago. And it's always the Rock has always been attached, and it's just like, when are they actually gonna make this movie? This and the Flash.
Yeah.
They announced both of those a long time ago. And we still don't have anything.
Well, we've got news on this Flash movie. I don't think we talked. Did we talk a couple weeks ago about how Michael Keaton's going to be Batman?
I don't think
as an appearance in this movie. Well, he is, and now also Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
2 Batmen. Will they add more? Wouldn't mind seeing a Val Kilmer in there, or Clooney.
I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. Who's on
Lego
first?
in there too. The Lego Batman's a great Batman,
right? Yeah. So you linked me to this article in Vanity Fair, but it looks like the Flash movie is going to be focusing on the multiverse. It looks like blah 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 blah. It's an adaptation of DC's 2011 Flashpoint series of comic book crossovers, I believe. So I like where they're going with this. I have to say that I haven't really liked the DC movies. I stopped after Batman vs. Superman, was like, all right, I'm kind of done. I didn't like the first Suicide Squad film. I thought that was terrible. I haven't seen Justice League.
I saw it. I liked it fine. Like, I remember having a good time in the theater, but I remember nothing now. It's like that level of film, which isn't the most terrible level of film to be at.
Yeah. So
Shazam's very good.
Yeah, Shazam was good. I liked Wonder Woman enough. It was really good. I think it's definitely one of the better ones. And then, of course, I know we both loved Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. That one was fantastic.
Haven't seen Aquaman.
Neither have I.
Big Aquaman blind spot over here.
Yeah. So what I've heard about this is interesting to me, because the stuff I'm hearing online is that this new Flash movie is going to establish the multiverse within the DC movies stuff. And I kind of looked at that strange. I was like, they've already established that. That already exists in the DC universe of stuff because of the DC CW TV shows. They've not only talked about the multiverse and gone to multiple different universes in the TV show. There was, in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, Ezra Miller appears as the Flash in costume on the TV show. And they do the whole like Spider-Man meme of like, but wait, I'm the Flash. No, but you, I like your costume. This is great. And he's like, I like your costume. This is armor. This is great. And they have this moment there, but that like firmly establishes the multiverse, and they're saying that this is the first time that they're establishing the multiverse. I'm like, no, pay attention. Yeah, I'm excited for all of these.
Yeah, I appreciate what a multiverse can do for a messy canon of properties to kind of help bring things together, acknowledge what a messy past you might have for a variety of reasons. DC seems to have, I guess DC and Marvel both have fingers everywhere. There's different tentacles of canon all over the place. You've got TV shows, you've got movies.
Yeah.
We're going to start the movies over. It's a different guy now. They're connected or maybe not. Who knows? And, on the Marvel side, you've got the various iterations of Spider-Man over and over again. And I like what a multiverse can do to sort of, all right, here's your chance to kind of bring things together. We acknowledge, yeah, this has been weird to keep up with. We're going to try and do something about it.
Yeah, indeed. So right now on DC Fandom, Warner Brothers WB Games is revealing their new Batman game. Which is exciting because we've been waiting for this for a long time. Wait, was that Terry? Terry McGinnis?
Oh, Batman Beyond?
I think? Maybe? Who would that be? Would that be...
Because you're watching something I can't see, and I just have to guess at these keywords.
You can go to the DCFandom.com/live.
Okay, let's see
It'll
what's
open it up.
Is it .com or .con?
.com.
Google suggests it's giving me .con, and I wanted to make sure if that was right or not.
.com. COM.
The classic. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
No, I have to add an extension.
Batgirl, Red Robin, Nightwing, Jason Todd. Ooh, I like that. Showing a map of the city. Bunch of people in masks entering a church. Red Robin jumps into action.
I brought burgers, team.
Right. Burgers. I got burgers. Batgirl with Burnside. That's amazing. She got the Doc Martens and everything. Nightwing.
I think I'm watching an opening theme scene for the convention itself.
Red Hood shooting a bunch of people. Ooh, active camo.
How long are we going to be doing this?
I at least wanted to see this. This was the big thing that I wanted to see. I've just had this on in the background.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm watching it now, too. There's Batgirl, woman.
Batgirl.
There's a guy in a cape. She's purple. Now she's in the air.
Her motorcycle.
They're doing flips.
Yep.
I'm also going to do commentary with no context for any of this. There's a motorcycle.
Hey, Mr. Freeze is in the game. That should be good. Okay, looks like they're spelling out the name. Gotham Knights is the name of the game.
Hmm.
Interesting. It looks like those are going to be the playable characters. Is Batman still missing? Oh, Court of Owls. Yes, I knew it.
Ooh.
Court of Owls. Hell yeah. Court of motherfucking Owls. I'm so excited. I'm gonna have to watch this again when I can like fully focus on this. This is gonna be great. I'm so excited. Step into the night. They have a date? 2021. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
2021, the year our dreams come true.
Melissa, you have no idea how long I've been waiting for that one. Daisy has some like weird. Daisy has like this weird track record of announcing things and then like not mentioning them again for years. Like the Flash movie was originally announced October of 2014. The Flash movie, when they were like, Ezra Miller will be in the Flash movie. 2014, 6 years ago. Wild. But yeah, so they announced this game a while back, and they teased it like a year or two ago, and then they just kind of went silent. And everyone was like, oh, maybe it's this kind of game, maybe it's that, maybe it's Court of Owls because they've hinted at X, Y, and Z, and we haven't known a thing for a long time. And then they finally announced that they were going to be here at DC Fandom, which is amazing, and our first look at WB Montreal's new Batman game. So, if you guys want to hear me talk more about it, I'm sure. I know that me and Ignacio will be talking about it. Ooh, gameplay looks cool. That we'll be talking more about it on crossplay, giving you guys our full thoughts and all that stuff. But, are you looking forward to anything else here at the DC Fandom stuff? What's on your mind?
Like I said, I just want to see the Batman and the Suicide Squad. They're all about determiners this year.
There's the three of us. Which one is the Batman? I don't know.
And I'm not as big of a DC person. I like the lanterns. I'd be up for any news about any lantern
cops.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. Yeah, I know eventually HBO Max is they're working on a Green Lantern show, but I don't know if there's going to be news on it at DC Fandom here or not. I'm not sure when that's supposed to be coming. I'm sure COVID pushed their plans back some. Speaking of movies and superhero movies and stuff like that, let's switch over to the Disney and Marvel side for a bit, because there was a couple interesting things coming out. First of all, Olivia Wilde directing a female-centric Marvel movie that she has teased as being Spider-Woman. I'm excited, but this is an interesting one.
I gotta confess, I don't know anything about Spider-Woman. I know her name and what she looks like, and that's it.
You're about on the same level as most people then.
Okay.
Spider-Woman, I wouldn't say she's a super prevalent character or that she's super popular. I know she did have a recent run on the comics that people really, really liked. But I don't know much about her. I know she's more of a private investigator / bounty hunter. She does have powers. She has super strength. She can stick on walls and stuff like that. She has super speed. She has super smelling and all of that stuff. what else does she have? She secretes these pheromones that will like make people like really attracted to her or hate her and stuff like that. And so she usually wears a perfume to cover it up and stuff like that. But yeah, if she really wants to, she can. I guess it's more passive. It's not like she has a choice, but it just like she secretes these pheromones, and for some people, they'll be like insanely attracted to her, and some they're just like completely scared of her. But
so, now, what does she have to do with the spiders? I already know.
Almost nothing, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Does she also live in New York City?
Yes,
Do we have that?
She does live in New York City.
They're neighbors.
Yeah. So Jessica Drew was the original Spider-Woman. According to Stan Lee, good old Stan the man himself, he said, "I suddenly realized that some other company may quickly put out a book like that and claim they have the right to use the name. And I thought we better do it real fast to copyright the name. So we just batted one quickly." And that's exactly what happened. I wanted to protect the name because it's the type of thing where someone else might say, "Hey, why don't we put out a Spider-Woman? They can't stop us." And then he goes on to say, years ago we brought out Wonder Man, and DC Comics sued us because they had Wonder Woman. And I said, okay, I'll discontinue Wonder Man. And all of a sudden, they've got Power Girl. And after Marvel had introduced Power Man, says, oh boy, how unfair. So yeah, originally he was just like, we need to like copyright that name. Let's just put something out.
What an origin.
But apparently her original origin was that, or her original like idea of what the origin was gonna be was that she was a spider that got transformed into a human.
I want
right?
that.
That ended up not being the case. She ended up being kind of experimented on by Hydra, in which she was implanted memories of being a spider. And so it was all fake. I think they've since kind of updated it past that, but her original comics did focus more on the macabre. One of her arch nemesis was Morgan Le Fay of Arthurian legend.
I like this.
And the Brothers Grimm.
Ooh.
Yeah. She had an animated TV series back in the day. I believe that's also on Disney Plus. You guys can go watch that. I think I've seen that on there. Let's see. Yeah, the end of her original like 50-issue run, she died. They were like, well, the character's not doing so well. None of the writers really know what to do with her. Let's just kill her off. That will also lend some credence to the Marvel universe in general of like, oh, it's this it's a dangerous place. There's supervillains and superheroes and stuff like that, and like someone has to die eventually. Like, let's just kill her off. And then
Uncle Ben and original child Bucky. Right. Not enough. More blood.
But so they eventually brought her back within that year because fan outrage was like, we want her back. But when they brought her back, she never really appeared again in costume. She had a couple cameos on other people's comics. She was in like the initial run of Wolverine. She would like show up and help him. She would still use her powers and stuff like that, but not in costume. And that's kind of when she became more of a bounty hunter and private investigator. Eventually, she joined the Avengers. Since then, she's quit the Avengers. And the recent run of the comics that I know people liked a lot, she was pregnant. And so it was kind of an interesting look of like, what, like superheroes obviously have a sex life, but
what do
you do when you're a superhero and you're pregnant? Like, that's an interesting thing to explore. I know that was not the entirety of the book, but that was just an interesting point to that book. But yeah, there's been multiple spider women, people who've taken up that mantle, but I think the main one will be Jessica Drew. Which is they apparently got her name because Marv Wolfman, I think it was, who was writing the original comics, took his daughter's name and mixed it with Nancy Drew. So yeah, so I think that's also partly why they turned her into a detective down the road, of just like, she's part spider, part Marv Wolfman's daughter, part detective.
So I don't know anything about DC or the more obscure parts of the Marvel universe, or much about Star Wars. But what I do know, Kyle, is the Star Wars holiday special.
Yeah. I haven't seen this, but this is infamous.
Yeah, I wanted to see it because it was infamous. I love the legend around it. I love what just a cultural oddball it is. Like, it's entirely one of a kind in human history.
Yeah.
And Star Wars has never acknowledged this thing. It's never been officially available anywhere. I've seen it through riff tracks. Like, somebody sent the riff tracks guys a VHS tape of the one night they were able to record it. And so I've seen them joke over it, which I gotta say is the best way to enjoy the Star Wars holiday special, because the thing's real slow, and these guys do the honorable duty of filling in the slow parts with real jokes for you.
Good. Yeah, I had a friend of mine. Actually, it was the former coworker of mine who was the one that got me into Star Wars and stuff. He was adamant about just like, don't watch this. It is god awful. Like, don't do it.
No, like, you should watch it, because you could call it awful, but it's awful in such a cosmically unique way. Yeah. There's something valuable about that.
Yeah. But apparently they're making a Lego, like a new Lego Star Wars holiday special.
Yes.
So this is wild, because like I was at first wondering if it was going to be a remake, and then you pointed out that like, no, it's kind of in like a new version update, because like Rey is in there and stuff like that. It's I'm glad that if they are remaking it, they're remaking it in the Lego version, because this is going to be so good, and it's going to be so much better. It's going to be so funny.
Yeah, this is the perfect team to tackle the Star Wars holiday special, is the Lego team.
Yeah.
They've got one of the most reliable comedy senses on the market today.
So this is this November, the Lego Star Wars holiday special, which premieres on Life Day, November 17th, 2020, on Disney Plus, will reunite Rey, Finn, Poe, Chewie, Rose, and all your favorite droids from R2-D2 to BB-8 for a joyous feast on Life Day. The holiday was first introduced in 1978's Star Wars Holiday Special. Blah, blah, blah. So I've proposed, Melissa, that you and I cover this on the review show for our Christmas episode, our like end of the year holiday episode.
But I want to counter argument that I'm not waiting to watch this thing.
Sure.
I'm watching it. I want to do a reactor core on this, because there's a lot of, like, we haven't even, like, every year I've pitched Scrooged to you. I've pitched Home Alone. There's so many other things I want to save, like the holiday slot for, that we haven't gotten to. Like, I gotta reactor core this and let something else have that Christmas episode.
That's fine with me.
Slot.
That's fine with me. I just thought it would be fun to talk about this thing, because I imagine that I would probably force myself to go back and watch the original, so I have something to compare it to.
I think you should legitimately, like I said, watch the Riff Tracks version. It does make it a more palatable experience. Yes.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we'll do. Yeah, that would be good for November thing. Man, November's gonna be so busy for me. Ooh. New consoles are coming out.
Oh, right.
Cyberpunk 2077 comes out on the 19th. So I'm gonna be heavily invested in that. I'm so excited. November has some good stuff coming.
Did I ever tell you about the time I saw a local theater troupe do a live stage production of the Star Wars Holiday Special?
I don't think so.
There's a theater troupe called, I think, Magic Smoking Monkey Theater, and they've done a lot of it's this franchise in this amount of time. It's like all the Mad Max movies in 80 minutes. All of the Harry Potter movies in 2 hours. Like, they just cram everything together. They do these pop culture, like, real quick. Like, there's like 8 actors. Everybody's changing costumes, like running off stage in like 3 different wigs with all these props. Everything's handmade. It's got this really great, like, hectic lo-fi charm to it. And I saw them do a Star Wars Holiday Special play where it was they were acting out the holiday special, but then also like they'd have somebody dressed as writer Bruce Valanche, and you'd be like, cut. Okay, so what we were trying to do in this scene was this. Like, he'd come out and try and explain to you why the Star Wars Holiday Special is what it was. And then it would go back to, and it was kind of sketchy, and it would cut in between like him and the special. And also they do parodies of like the types of TV commercials you'd see in 1978.
That's funny. I think I would be really interested in like a fake documentary biopic thing of the people making the Star Wars Holiday Special and like how it turned out to be such a nightmare. Like, I think that would be kind of interesting to watch if you could somehow find a good story within that and just, you know, make it like the Steve Jobs biopic or something where, you know, it's just like, this is intense. I like this. What's gonna happen?
I've listened to some great oral history podcasts about the Star Wars Holiday Special, but yes, I would appreciate a full documentary.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. Because Star Wars is one of the like rare, unique things that they've really gone out of their way to document pretty much everything of like how it was made, how they came up with the decisions to make it like this or look like that, stuff like yeah, they have so much. They have so much books, like the making of Star Wars, the making of Episode 1, the making of Episode 5, the making of Episode 9. You know, they have everything. I bet you they have some like archival footage somewhere that would help flush out that story there.
I hope so. Its story needs to be told.
Yeah. Man. DC Fandom right now is talking about the Sandman audio drama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think G. Willow Wilson is on screen. I wonder if she wrote the adaptation. Interesting.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, so Star Wars Holiday Special. Let's do that then. Let's do a reactor core for that when it comes out, because I think that would be a lot of fun to do that. Yeah, then we can save our review show Holiday Special for something else. Maybe
Scrooged, maybe not. Depends on which one of us gets the turn to pitch it this year.
Maybe one day we'll end up going 8 crazy nights.
Wouldn't say no to it.
So Melissa, you mentioned to me this week that you are very fond of video game cryptids. You're not a big video game player. You're not you're not super knowledgeable of like what's the details of Warner Brother Montreal's new game and what's Rocksteady up to and all of that stuff. You're not paying attention to all of that stuff. But the stuff that does catch your eye is like the weird mysteries and the cryptids and the just like Did anyone else notice this thing? This is weird.
Yeah, like I love video game lore
Mm-hmm.
and mystery and like tales of discoveries and disasters. That's what I like about it.
So let me see if I can find. I have it on. I have it on my phone pulled up.
Hmm.
So this is coming from Eurogamer, and it's written by Matt Wales.
Okay.
This was just 2 days ago.
Uh-huh.
Melissa, have you ever played Microsoft Flight Simulator on like an older
No.
version on like an old computer back in school or something?
I have
No.
not. It's interesting that you mentioned this. Like, I love this YouTube channel called Lazy Game Reviews. Have you seen him?
No, not ringing a bell.
It's this really chill guy. I think he started the channel doing like video game reviews when that was like the hot ticket of things to do, but it's sort of gotten into a lot of just archaic computer stuff. I watch him a lot just because I like weird old computers and his voice is really calming. He did a video on Microsoft Flight Simulator that I put on my watch later just because it seemed like comforting old school graphics to watch before I go to sleep.
Is it an older version of Microsoft Flight Simulator? Okay.
Yeah. It's like the old,
So
one of the 90s ones.
So Microsoft
no real polygons.
Just released their 2020 version of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And Melissa, this game looks incredible. It's not a game for me. I don't think I would ever really play it, but it looks beautiful. And
yeah, these look like photographs.
Right? Yeah. And so what's incredible about this is it's no longer like really, really simple graphics where the only buildings are really kind of the airports and stuff like that, and you only get to load into like certain regions. This is the whole planet. You can literally fly anywhere on the entire planet.
Yeah. I'm seeing an article called "How to Visit Your House in Microsoft Flight Simulator."
There are videos of like people like matching the shadows of their house outside in real time as they like fly outside, because it pulls in like real weather data and like real time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. So let me read you this article. If at the very moment you were to fire up Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, hop into a plane, and take to the skies around Melbourne, Australia, you might be a little surprised by what you find puncturing the skyline. As discovered earlier this week, a vast 200-story residential home has unexpectedly magicked itself into existence in the otherwise not immediately remarkable suburb of Faulkner. And now
what do I Google to look at this thing, Kyle?
And now internet sleuths have figured out why. I will skip ahead a bit here. The obvious problem, though, is not so much is that no such 200-story skyscraper exists on that spot back in the real world. At least one that is visible through the mortal eye, leading flight sim fans to ponder exactly how it got there. We skipping ahead a little bit.
I see it.
Yeah. It's now known that this is because of a typo. OpenStreetMap calls itself a community of mappers that contribute and maintain data about roads, trails, cafes, railway stations, and much more all around the world. Anyone is free to use the site's data, and Microsoft has been incorporating it into Bing Maps, which Flight Simulator draws upon to render its one-to-one version of Earth since 2010. Unfortunately, it seems that around a year ago, an an OpenStreetMap user going by the name of Nathan Wright 120 erroneously listed the building via its editable data as having 212 floors, resulting in the astonishing 2,000-foot plus monolith seen in Flight Simulator today. Were it real, as another industrious Twitter user calculated, that would make it the second tallest building in the world. Clicking over to OpenStreetMap reveals that Nathan Wright 120's error has since been remedied by another user, and that the residential property in question is, in reality, only 2 stories tall. Unfortunately, sometime before the building could regain its proper proportions, Microsoft exported the incorrect data for use, and in turn ended up in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020.
Wow.
Melissa, this is wild that you
This
can
is great.
fly to Australia and there's just this ginormous tower that shouldn't be there.
It's bland. It's a cube. It's the most boring 2-story building that just accidentally got stretched to 212 stories. It doesn't look like anything. There's no architectural features. It's a big stick.
It's just a big, like, rectangular prism. It's the dumbest thing, but it's so funny because now that
it.
like word has gotten out, like people are flying to Australia just to go see this thing. I hope they keep it in because that's amazing to just like have that there.
I'm looking at a lot of Google image pictures of this Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as previously stated, I'm not a video game person, but this is considerable. Because I do, just like as previously stated also, I like to look at things.
Yeah.
Just look at places.
Yeah. So a lot of streamers are doing let's plays of the game, where I know Bruce Green, who used to be a part of Fun House and all that stuff. He's been doing streams, and he's in like full on, like he has a captain's hat. He has a co-pilot there. They are taking it the whole 9 yards, and it's like real time too. So I think they recently did, I'm not sure if it's still going or not, but they did a flight from LAX to Dubai, which I think is the longest flight in the world. And I think it's like a 12 hour flight that they're just like, we're gonna be streaming for 12 hours. Here we go.
That sounds like just a lot of water to fly over. I want to fly over Disneyland.
Yeah, you could do that, and you can see, like, it's one of those things where, like, the buildings are there. They're not exactly what the buildings look like.
Yeah,
but it's enough to be like, that's my house, or like, you know, that's where I work, or stuff like that. So
yeah,
don't dox yourself though. If
okay,
people out there are streaming the game and they want to go look at their house, might not be a good idea, because then people will know where you live. But I thought that was funny.
wow.
Giant tower. Good stuff. So
What if we've launched into an alternate, a timeline that was never originally intended to be, but thanks to this error, we inspire the city of Melbourne
build
to
this
erect a tower that big.
amazing.
Yeah,
I'd be
now
all
we're in
about it.
now we're in the Melbourne timeline, and we weren't before.
Yeah, it's no longer AD, but it's MT, the year of Melbourne Tower.
They're like, we're going to become a global superpower now.
It's a global clock thing. The ancient, I forget what they're called.
What?
Sundial. That's it. It's a planet sundial. Like looking at pictures of this thing, there's nothing else around it. Like, it's not in the middle of a city where there's other tall buildings or stuff like that.
It looks like a chill suburb.
Yeah, like, just everything looks completely flat compared to it, and there's this just giant tower, 212 stories tall. Man, so funny. So funny. They're still talking about the Sandman audio drama on DC Fandom, and Neil Gaiman is talking about it. And they just mentioned Lucifer in there too, so that's why my ears perked up. But yeah, so in other news, Melissa.
Yes.
I called this. I feel like I'm owed some money or something, because Netflix is adding a shuffle button. I have been wondering for a long time now if they were gonna do some kind of like shuffle button or some like 24/7 channel based off of your interests, where it just like something is always on. But they have a shuffle button, or they will be implementing one reportedly. And I feel like I called it on an earlier episode of the Captain's Log when we've been talking about this stuff. How do you feel about a shuffle button on Netflix?
I think that could be good. I typically don't go to Netflix just with the idea of something. Like, I go there with a particular goal. Like, I already know what I want to watch. I would love to have a feature, and it may already exist and I haven't dived deep enough. Who knows? I would just put all my movies on there and have it sort them by length. Like, okay, I have an hour 40 minutes. What do you have that fits?
That'd be interesting if they just had a much more robust like filter stuff there. That'd be kind of interesting.
Or if they could like figure out the math for me, like, okay, in that much time you can watch these TV episodes.
Yeah.
Like, we've maximized your time. It's like 2-hour-long programs and like this half-hour program.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I'd be up for that. Or you can like search by director, and it comes up with all of the stuff, or search by an actor, it comes up with all of their stuff.
Well, I think there are like keyword searches for things like that. I was having trouble with this like the other weekend. Like, Jack and I were gonna watch a movie, and then I ended up having like a schedule change. I'm like, I can still watch a movie, just one that's not very long. She's like, okay, well, which one do you want to watch? I'm looking around on all these streaming sites, and I get back to her. I'm like, nobody has a category for movies less than 100 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a set category anywhere, and I wish it was, that they would categorize them by time, so I don't have to stop and individually look up, how long is The Truman Show?
Yeah. Just FYI, Melissa, you're getting a little bit robot-y on your end, but things are still working out fine. I can hear you just good. That being said, Sam is now in the chat. What's up, Sam? How are you? We've been kind of recording for the past hour here, so we've talked about all sorts of stuff, from things being announced at DC Fandom to Netflix having a shuffle button to the 212-story tower in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
I'm looking at other glitches in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and there's a bridge in Portland that's just a flat plane with trucks on it.
Oh, man.
Let me put this in our sheet.
Okay. Bring up the link here.
Oh, copy. Did I tell you to copy the link? Didn't I tell you this? Didn't I tell you to paste the link? There it is.
There we go. Open up link to tweet. Yeah, it's like this. Well, it looks like it's a 3D object.
Yes.
But on the side of it it looks like a mural was painted on it to be like, look, there's trucks in here. We promise. That's funny. That's so funny. Yeah, like there's all sorts of stuff like that. But the game looks beautiful. It's not a game for me, but it's crazy the amount of stuff that you can do with this thing. Wild.
Yeah.
Good for them for making that game, and people being so positive on that game. Like Microsoft Flight Simulator.
It's what we need as a culture. We need to explore.
Get out and travel, right? Yeah, you've been stuck at home.
Yeah.
Get out and travel. Wild.
Yeah. Yesterday I just drove to look at a closed theater, and that was a thrill. That's where I'm at right now.
Circling back around to theaters, Melissa.
Yeah.
I guess they just released the trailer to Death on the Nile. Is that
weirdly perfect?
Yeah.
Yeah, weirdly perfect timing because we just talked about Murder on the Orient Express like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then Jack put the trailer in our Discord. For us and for us, and yeah, I was like, oh, is this something we missed? But no, apparently this is a new trailer. Yeah, great timing on their part and our part for making this all happen. Like,
yeah,
right
good for us.
We talked about the original trailer to Murder on the Orient Express on a Patreon exclusive episode of the Reactor Core. It was our third one that we did where we reacted to movie trailers from the 2010s. That was a lot of fun, but then kind of because of that, we ended up covering the movie Murder on the Orient Express on the review show.
Yeah.
It was good. We were like, well, who knows when the next one's coming out? And then like, bam, trailer. So
yeah, and it's also a very good trailer. I appreciate that the trailer has a lot of stylistic similarities to the first one. Still got neon lettering. It's gold this time. I don't understand, but I appreciate their devotion to neon.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's as neon. It's still got like it's kind of this like glowing gold yellow color, but it's not as like vibrant as that blue was in the first one. Like the blue just stood out and was just like, what in the world is this? And yeah, this gold I think fits more because you got the like yellows of the sand in Egypt and the like kind of golden tones in the scenes that they shot and stuff like that. So it fits and it's a little bit more cohesive. But it was a good trailer. I'm not super familiar with the music that was in there, so that also didn't stand out.
It's Depeche Mode. It's Depeche Mode's Policy of Truth, and it's a very good choice.
There you go. It seemed like a good song. I wasn't familiar with it. It wasn't as like crazy upbeat and like big like dramatic stuff. It was a little more subdued, but more tense, I feel like.
Yes, it's very moody.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it. I liked it. I liked the trailer for that. I hope this will be a good one. And again, it looked like a star-studded cast, right? Gail Gadot, or however you say her name.
Well, not Gail.
It's Gal Gadot.
Yeah, I think it's Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. I
think everybody thinks it's supposed to be a silent T, but it is in fact a loud T.
It's a loud T. It's a hard T.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to this, but this is coming out next year, I think it said, right? Or no.
It says October 23rd.
October 23rd. You're right. I was mixing up my dates stuff. This year, October. Good stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that seems like an appropriate, and I think late October seems like a fair time to try putting things out again in various markets. And I think this one is an appropriate middle size of film to go there.
How do you feel? How do you feel about his mustache? He still has that crazy mustache.
I still love it. I don't want it to go away. If the mustache goes away, I want that to be the next crime. Who shaved Poirot in the night?
Or Poirot and the night shaver. It's interesting because it's so comical. It almost takes me out of the film. Like, everything else is just so down to earth. There's nothing fantastical about it. It's just like, I love the style. It's that like 1920s, 1930s, just like flapper girls and stuff like that. But they're out in Egypt, and yeah, like it looks fantastic. And then there's this ridiculous mustache.
But I think it works because they've taken out every other Poirot mannerism, and he is just like this serious, stern detective in every bit of footage they put in the trailers. So I think you buy the mustache more because it's coming from such a serious, stern man. It's like, well, if he believes he can solve the crime, and if he believes he can wear that mustache, I guess I'm on board. He's authoritative about it.
We are losing Melissa.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here.
It's a poor connection. So we're actually recording Saturday afternoon, early Saturday afternoon, because I moved the podcast because we were supposed to get a storm last night, and this is what I was hoping to avoid. And it wasn't much of a storm. Like, it ended up being fine, and it's fine out right now. So who knows what's up? But
it's fine here.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for Death on the Nile, despite that crazy
I'd like
mustache.
to see. Yeah, I'd like to see more of these happen. They're just pleasant, enjoyable, easy, watchable
would
films.
Be the right thing. Where he's like, "There's been a murder. One of you did it."
Yeah, but
oh, how pleasant!
Oh, like it's like good performances. Everybody and everything looks pretty.
Yeah.
They're stylistically pleasing. Like, it's just like a solid story. It's not really trying to do anything too special. It's just trying to take what it is doing and just do it very competently. No,
It's good.
This seems like a movie that I wouldn't mind just seeing these like every 2 or 3 years for the next decade.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I would love to see like, if these take off, I would love to see them do like more Agatha Christie murder mysteries and stuff that don't include Hercule Poirot. Like, I would kind of like to see, like, what's her name, Miss Marple, right? I think that'd be cool, because she is not a famous detective. She is just this elderly woman chilling with her friends. She's an amateur, and like, people come to her with the stories of these things, and she solves them based on that stuff.
I Googled her. She's so sweet looking.
Oh, yeah. She's just sitting there, like, knitting things, being like, I'll solve your murder mystery for you. I'm a good amateur detective. I think that could be neat. Or just ones that, like, don't have, like, a lead character like that, or, like, a lead, like, I guess, like, repeat character. That makes sense. Like, no Hercule, no Miss Marple, no stuff like that. Just like
just sorted mysteries.
Show me a good mystery, yeah. Christie verse, the Agatha Christie verse. That would be amazing.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm looking at just a bunch of pictures of a bunch of different Miss Marples, and it's very calming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marple.
It's like a wall of grandmas.
Oh, yeah. Miss
They all have little hats.
Yep. Yeah, just like pleasant old lady. Like her stuff would be more pleasant. Just this good old grandma solving mysteries. So funny. Anyways, I actually don't know if I have much more to talk about this week. Because it was kind of a normal week.
It was good to have an influx of news to talk about.
Yes.
Because it's been a long time. I feel like we've had like maybe one item per week for the last several months.
I know DC Fandom. I think we're still going to be getting more details about Black Adam today. I don't know if that's them releasing a trailer or just debuting the costume or who knows what. But I think that's supposed to be out next year. I know Rocksteady is also going to be having more details on their Suicide Squad game. I know the Suicide Squad movie, I'm sure, will have some stuff in there. So be on the lookout for all of that stuff.
Yeah, we may talk more next week about.
Yeah, well, they split DC Fandom up into 2 events now. So I think the next thing is happening on like September 15th, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like a part 2. Part 2 of all that stuff. So who knows? We'll see.
Convention, the sequel.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see, a little bit of housekeeping for you guys if you didn't know, which hopefully you do because we've mentioned them a bunch here on today's podcast. But we got multiple podcasts here at the Whatnauts. You guys can check them out on our website, thewhatnauts.com, or your favorite podcasting platform of choice. Just type in the Whatnauts and all of our shows will pop up right there. You guys like what we do, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is where you can support us for as little as $1 a month. We got all kinds of exclusive content for all of our shows at the $3 tier, so be sure to check out all of that. We have an idea for some exclusive content for crossplay, but I forgot to mention it to Ignacio this past week, so I will mention it to him, and hopefully in the near future we can get some stuff like that going. But let's see. We would also like to give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters at the $5 tier. So thank you, Sam, who joined us in the latter half of this one, or at the end here, to say hi. But thank you, Sam, for supporting us. And we appreciate it a lot. So thank you. Melissa, let me ask you this. To end the show. What are you excited about this next week? This is how I normally end crossplay, where I just ask, like, what are you excited about this coming week?
I don't have anything planned. I don't think I'm doing anything.
I mean, are you excited for that, to just do nothing?
No, I never like to do nothing.
Melissa is having a midlife crisis right now of what she should do.
It's week. Just like, I'm gonna make peach crisp today. I guess I'll slowly eat that over the next couple days. I can be excited for that.
What is peach crisp?
Yeah, it's just a fruit crisp. When you cook a fruit and you put crispy stuff on it.
I don't know.
It's like a cobbler. When there's like that crispy, crunchy, like brown sugar, cinnamon, buttery oat stuff that you put on just a bunch of sliced fruit and you bake it in the oven.
So it sounds similar to like a cobbler.
Yes.
Okay.
But crispy.
Okay. Gotcha.
With oats.
Gotcha. Okay. Peach crispy, or whatever you called it.
Peach crispy.
By the way, Sam is wanting to know if you wanted to talk to her later on, so you guys might have to connect after
y'all
the show.
Call Sam. We'll just use you as the middleman to plan our future calls.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll call Sam later.
We're not talking. Tell Melissa that I want to talk to her later on. So I'm excited for more news coming from DC.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be conducting 2 kind of laid back interviews with potential people to join crossplay today, so I'm excited about that. But Lucifer season 5, as I mentioned at the start of the show, that's out. I'm going to be starting that this week. Yeah, good stuff. This week on the 27th, episode 1 of a new video game that I'm really excited about from Don't Nod is coming out. The game is called Tell Me Why. These are the same people that made Life is Strange, which is one of my favorite games. This one is the first game, I believe, in history that has a trans character as a playable character. So I am interested in that and checking that stuff out. But I just love their stories. They all do some great stuff. So I'm
Sounds
excited
good.
about all that stuff. But Melissa, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT.
You can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter and Instagram if you guys want to stay up to date with our shows. We are on Twitter at The Whatnauts. I almost forgot what our Twitter handle was, but I talked through it and saved the day. But yeah, so if you guys can like, share, subscribe, help spread the word, that would be lovely. I think we're sitting at 83 subscribers on YouTube. So again, please help us spread the word so we can bump that up to 100. But I believe that is it for this week. This has been episode 108 of the Captain's Log. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out our podcast. We hope you enjoyed that one. Let us know in the comments down below what your favorite announcement coming out of DC Fandom has been. And yeah, that would be great. In the meantime, though, go subscribe to our channel, which is right up here in this corner. Go hit that button. That would help us out a ton. We're hoping to reach 100 subs. Or if you're watching this sometime in the future, maybe we have 10,000 subs by then. Who knows? Also, go watch one of our other videos right down here. We would appreciate that as well. But until then, we will see you guys next time. Bye.